Good evening, everybody. This is Jason McGee and Harry Lee. You're very welcome along to the Gathering Heritage Project. And for those of you who don't know, this is a social innovation project that's been running for the last 5 or 6 years, where Harry and myself collect stories, pictures, videos, and we put them all online. So this evening, what we'd like to do is show you some photos that we have from the 1980s. And I would like to introduce Mr. Harry Lee.
Very good. This is great, isn't it? We're on the telly and everything here, Jason. And yeah, everyone's very, very welcome. This is just a brilliant idea. And this is the first time we're doing it tonight. And as I was saying to Jason before we come on, walking down Clanbrassil Street over this past year, and you could see all the shops closed owing to the COVID virus. But we are now going to walk down Clanbrassil Street again, and it's not because of a virus, it is just because it was a bank holiday Monday. But there's so many years in between, they never heard of the virus at that time. So let's go, Jason, and we are starting on the left-hand side from the square. Now, if anyone wants to make a comment, they are very welcome. You can explain that there, Jason, if you...
Yeah, so we have linked into Facebook. So any of the Facebook comments that you put up, we can post them so that they appear actually as part of this chat. And I think it'll be very helpful because we don't know all the shops. We don't know who owned them and stuff like that. So if we can get as much interaction on this with some comments, it'll be really great. So we can get the chat going. Let's start off, Harry.
Right, we start off with the post office, and a beautiful, beautiful building. And as a matter of fact, when you look from the post office down as far as you go, you wouldn't think it was Clanbrassil Street at all. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's a lovely building, and they kept it very, very well in the post office. And the next one is there's a gateway there between Levy's, which we are going to in between there, where all the post vans used to go up and down there, and you'd be knocked down with them. But now they don't go down there anymore, of course. And the next one is Levy's. Now, Levy's a very, very well established business in Dundalk, and at that time they had glasses, selling glasses, and a chemist. But nowadays, of course, it's just the chemist, and a very, very good, well thought of local. Now, the glasses end of it has moved down, and I'll show you where they are now when we move down.
It's amazing to think, Harry, the outside of this building still looks the same. You know,
and the post office. The
post office. Well, the post office is kind of classical looking. You know, it has a very classy look. It's exactly the same. You know.
Now, if we did this here, of course, is everybody that talks to me about Clanbrassil Street in the old days, it's Woolworths, and particularly of my age group. By the way, did you ever go? Were you alive when it was born? Where were you?
Yeah, Harry, so this. We think this was taken in the mid '80s. This photograph. And I would have been about, 8, 9, 10. And
that would have been your age, yeah.
I remember going into Woolworths, and everybody remembers, wasn't there a sweet counter on the left-hand side where you could you grabbed the bag and you went in and you kind of shoveled different sweets into the bag and then went and paid for them. It was a pick and mix. That's what it was. It was a pick and mix. But I remember.
Are you sure that's right now? Because I think when you went into Woolworths, that the biscuits were on the left. The loose biscuits were all there, and there was these beautiful girls, and they were putting them into wee bags. You could take as much as you like. But I think the sweets might have been the other side. But Jason, it is. Everyone just remembers Woolworths, and it looks so well there. And I don't know whether at that time what was upstairs in them. I do know, and I'm nearly positive. No, I'm not. I'm wrong. It's the next building. I don't know what was up there over Woolworths at that time, because it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it could have been offices. I don't know. Could have been offices. But everybody remembers Woolworths, and there were toys at the back of Woolworths. It was the first toy shop I really remember. and I went in there and there was
Yeah.
Star Wars toys and stuff like that. So I had fun in
Now, next to it is the old Saxon shoe shop. It was. I worked in it for a while actually, and there's a door there just between Woolworths and that Saxon shop, the black shop, and that was a tailor. There was this
Right.
tailor upstairs where you could go up and get a new suit, or you could get a new zip. Oh, there mightn't have been zips away back then. I don't know, but he would do repairs, torn up trousers and stuff like
Yeah.
that in it.
Yeah.
I
And that was
can't
called
just remember.
Saxons, Harry. Yeah.
Pardon?
It's called
Is
Saxons.
is that
Unusual name.
the name of the shoe shop was Saxon. They were an
Right.
English company,
Okay.
and they used to have very very good quality shoes in it. But it's now, of course, Levy's the glasses shop that's
Oh
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Now, Owen McCall's is next to it, that brown
Mm-hmm.
shop that you can see there.
Yeah.
And Owen McCall, of course, is a man's clothes shop. Very, very well thought of all down the years. Very good local people, which, Jason, you'd have to say most of the shops way back then were owned
Yeah.
by local people. And there's
Yeah.
probably no need for me even to say that. Now, this one here with the blue pillars, this
Mm.
has caused more hassle, more arguments about what it is. And at this stage, I am not 100% sure. I had a few, I'm not going to say arguments, discussions, and
Mm.
somebody I hope will come on and tell us who they think it is. Coils the Butcher was around there somewhere.
Okay.
Now, whether it was there or not, I am not quite sure.
Yeah.
This little area here is an area, and even though I worked all my life in Clanbrassil Street, I always get it mixed up because after that, with the blue pillars on it, there's Cox's. Now, I think there were seed shops and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and very again local people. And what is in there now? This is why we were trying to figure out what was in there now.
Yeah.
I honestly
I think there could
can't
be
remember.
a men's clothes shop there now, or maybe
No,
no.
it's
That's
down a wee
McCall's.
bit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Not quite
yeah.
sure. I don't know.
No, if you go down a little bit, there's a man's clothes shop. It's just been there a couple of years now. They
Yeah.
moved up, I
That's.
think,
I
from
think that's
somewhere
it.
else.
Okay.
No,
So
no, that there's a children's shop in there now,
right.
a
Okay.
clothes shop. Yeah. So if you go down a little bit, there was RTE Rentals,
Yeah.
Jason, owned the last shop before the white, you said, with the blue roof. Do you see that one?
Okay. So I've
That
got a better
there.
photograph. Will I move on to it? We'll have a look at the
Yeah,
next.
yeah, yeah,
Let's move on
yeah.
to the next. Oh, so sorry. This is before we get that far. This is just a better shot of Boyd's because this was Woolworths, and it changed to Boyd's. What year? What year do you think
Yeah.
that was?
Isn't it strange now? I was talking to the manager there only the other day, Paul, and he's
Yeah.
been there since the day Boyd's open, and he
Right.
told me it's 40 years or something. He's
Right.
in it, yeah, and but Boyd's, they must have been waiting at that
Yeah.
stage then for
Okay.
Woolworths to go.
Harry, you were right about the sweets. They were on the right. Anne Cunningham's just after posting to say they were on the right. I thought they were on the
There
left.
you are. Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
on the
Thank
right.
you very much,
Thanks, Anne.
Anne. Lovely to hear from you. And
Okay.
so we'll move back down again there,
Okay.
Jason, back to the older ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you go down to the yellow wall there, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that is unfortunately, and I think this happened just since we talked before about this, Ronan Sora, who owned it, one of the
Yeah.
nicest men in Dundalk, who did a wonderful, wonderful business in CDs and music tapes and cassettes and everything. He used to have a shop in Dublin, in Park Street, but Ronan died a couple of months ago. And he was just loved in the town because it
That
was
was
all
this shop, Harry, the blue
pardon
one. It is the blue shop.
the blue. Do you see the well, you can see it written on the wall. Do you see there? Do you see music tapes there?
Oh yeah, no, I thought you were talking.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about this. No, it was that North Rentals or something
yeah.
rentals.
Yeah, RTE
Irish
Rentals
TV
was.
rentals. I see it
Yeah,
now.
you can see it there. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can see
Irish
it
TV
there.
rentals. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
no,
but you were
Ronan's.
talking about Ronan own music
No,
tapes.
Cavendish's was next. Do you
Right.
see
Okay.
Cavendish's?
Yeah, I do.
And
Yeah.
everybody, if you didn't buy a bed in Cavendish's, you're rich,
Well, I've got
because
a.
between the credit union and
Yeah.
Cavendish's. But what happened with Cavendish's, when the credit union came along, we could go in and get a loan of money, and we could go in and you could bargain with them, and
Right.
they all
Okay.
these shops closed down then
Right. So
because of that.
I have a lovely shot next of Cavendish's. We'll move on down just a little bit. Okay.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
This changed to Wogan's Furniture, but
Yeah,
obviously it was
that was
Cavendish
the
before that.
yeah that's where Cavendish's was. Yeah, and I think at the moment there's, I call them 99p shops, but them shops that
Yeah.
sell everything. They've all
Yeah.
different names, but it was a lovely shop. Wogan's were there for a good while, and they're
Yeah.
moved down, of
I was
course,
just
too.
looking at the some of the prices in the window. There's one here for a bed chair for £39. What was a bed chair? Was it
A
a
bed
chair to
chair
come
is,
in?
you can turn it into a bed. It's like
Right.
it'd be like a fold-up bed. Oh, Jason, you're
Okay.
not living. We all had them, because you could sit and take your dinner, and then
Right.
when you finish your dinner, if you wanted a wee sleep, you just open it up and you lie down in it.
Right.
But it's something actually. You see the dearer ones, they're
Yeah.
299.
Yeah.
I
This
don't
looks.
know what.
I think that says
I,
Dream Suite, and it's
oh yeah,
299. So
yeah.
£299 in 1984 was a lot of money, Harry. That was a lot of money.
It was. It was a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah. Right, let's move on down then. We pass music tapes and
Yeah.
go down further down, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the next shop is Sheba, which is still there.
Yeah, it
Sheila
is.
Mulligan, and another local ladies' clothes shop, and still going strong.
Yeah.
And now the next one, we had arguments before about this, because that is the bank
Yeah.
now, isn't it? The Bank of Ireland.
Yes.
Isn't that what that is now?
Yes,
But
it is.
somebody were arguing with us the last time, and they got very hot about it. No, I know what I'm talking about. But that is, the pillars are still there
Yeah, the
in
pillars are
outside the
still
bank.
there, and I can't actually see where it says Bank of Ireland there, but I presume that's
No,
the
I
Bank of
don't think it
Ireland.
was a bank. There's a sign there, Jason. There's a
Yeah,
sign under the clock.
I can't
But
make out
I
what
don't
that was.
think
I
I've a
think it
fun. No,
was, Harry, because you see the
it-
flag. You see the flag
yeah,
that's here. That looks like a Bank of Ireland logo, an old one. But
I
maybe
think.
go on,
Can I come in there for a second, please?
go on,
Somebody
go
that
on.
knows
Yeah,
everything about this. I got into a conversation with somebody about that, and that was maybe another name on a bank, and the Bank of Ireland took it over. Now, there was
ah,
buildings down here called the Hibernian Bank, but
right,
I think that was further down. Anyone
right.
know about that? You could send us a comment. We'd be
Okay,
delighted to
okay.
hear.
What was that bank? I think it was the Bank of Ireland. You think it was a different bank? Somebody
I
commented.
Yeah, and the bank. There was loads of them. There was the National Bank.
Right, right.
Was in Clanbrassil. That could be the National Bank, or maybe the National Bank was up where AIB was. I don't know. I can't. I would banish to say knew nothing at all about banks. Now, after the we'll say that building, the
Yeah,
modern fashions, and
yeah.
I was
Still
just
there.
looking. I was just looking in the window the other day, and the ladies things and everything.
Right. Yeah,
It's and if a sign up for with the COVID now,
yeah.
for all inquiries, ring, and you could
Such and
ring
such.
a number on it.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I knew we were going to do this, and modern fashions, and it's still there, and a very, very good local people that
Yeah,
own
shop
that.
looks well. The building on the outside looks exactly the same to my mind.
Yeah,
It looks
it
exactly
has
the same.
it. I don't think it has changed.
No,
No, I don't think so.
the striking thing about that building, Harry, was the window. I don't think there's any other business in Dundalk that has that where you can actually walk around on the inside
Yeah, and
without having to.
there's the pillar is there. Do you see
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
in the middle? Yeah.
All right.
Now we go to, this is PV McGann, chemist,
Okay. Chemist.
and Paddy McGann, and he was very, very popular in the middle of Clanbrassil Street. That was a great spot for a chemist shop, even though there was one across the road as well
Mm,
called Ward's, but he was the main one, along with
yeah,
packhouses. There was
yeah.
3 or 4 of them, but that's
Well, I
PB
suppose,
McGann.
Harry, this was the busiest part of town, really. Back in the 80s, this was a very, very busy part of town. So maybe that's why there were so many pharmacies and small
Yeah,
shops.
Jason, if anyone that didn't live through the 80s
Yeah.
and will agree with me when I say that no, they have no idea about what Clanbrassil Street was like,
Yeah, how busy.
and yeah, it was packed because there was nothing else. That was
Yeah,
Park Street was okay, but
yeah.
Clanbrassil Street was the shop.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's move on, Harry. I think I'll have a better photograph of that. Yeah, this is a better. This is more detailed.
Yeah. Patrick V. McGann. Yeah, yeah. Now,
Isn't the
oh,
brickwork beautiful? The,
isn't it
the,
indeed? Yeah, and
yeah,
there's something written on the window. We can't
yeah.
see
Let's
what.
try and zoom in.
Good.
I can't quite see
No,
what that is. It wouldn't have been that unusual for like a financial, like an accountant or somebody like that to have an office above any of
no,
these
and yet
offices.
there's a door there at the side. It was.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't just
If
can't
anybody
remember.
knows what that was, just drop it in the comments and let us know. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Harry. Go ahead.
Now, there's a small little shop there, and a gun. Oh yeah, that was Guns the
Guns. Yeah,
Auctioneers.
guns. Yeah.
Yeah, Guns the Auctioneers, and next to it then was the DPM meat shop
Hmm.
in I don't know who owned that now. And what does that sign see there?
It says
Deep
poultry meat.
freezer meat. The deep freezer milk
Yeah.
set. Ah, yeah, you can see better than me.
So what does
Yeah,
DPM stand for, Harry?
Dundalk. It's Dundalk something meat.
Was it?
No, maybe duck's potent milk.
It could have been dairy poultry meat, or it could have been Dundalk poultry meat. I never knew what it stood for DPM. If anybody does, just drop in the comments.
Yeah, yeah. Now here is I've forgotten about this now. I should have remembered the Allied Irish Bank that I was talking about. Now
Right.
that's clearer than the last time we were looking. We went through these, Jason.
Yeah.
They weren't as clear as they were there, but that's a very good view of
Yeah.
where that is.
Yeah.
Now, after that, then what was that? Is that Draper?
Yeah. It's Phil Lynch.
Yeah.
Phil Lynch
Oh,
is
that's
his
what
shop.
Phil Lynch. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
started
Yeah,
because he had
yeah.
two shops, Harry, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a wee shop. He started a wee shop beside Lawless's Barbers at Park Street. Then he
Right.
moved to there, and then he moved to where the big store in across from the post office. In one
Right.
of those, it turned into a Quinn's supermarket after that, and now he is down. I think he's still there anyway, down by the bus station. That's where
Yeah.
he's still a great businessman, Phil. Now, the other shop after that was a jeweller's, Francis Short,
Right.
and there was always then an entry. Where it went, I'm not quite sure at that time because there was no long walk shopping centre,
Hmm.
and but there is now there is an opening. Maybe it was just opened up afterwards. I'm not quite
No,
sure.
there's an entry there with shops. So because there's a pharmacy down there and a couple of other
Yeah,
things.
no, that's where McCourt's is. That's further
All
down.
right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So this was
No,
a jewelry shop, Harry. Yeah. This was a
that was
jewelry
a
shop.
jewelry shop, and he sold. He was great at repairing watches and stuff like
Right.
that.
Right.
I knew that man well actually. Now after that, now a great local shop, Duffy's the Builders,
Yeah.
and it was a hardware shop, of course,
Okay.
and that actually now stretched right across to where the cinema is in the long walk now over the beside there. That's where Duffy's.
So that was
They had
massive then. That
massive, but they did a big yard. They sold wood in big loads of what do you, Oh, so
Lens
all
for,
sorts of things for builder
yeah.
suppliers. That's why I couldn't
Okay.
think of it.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is that if you didn't know that that was a hardware shop, you wouldn't call it out as a hardware shop.
Yeah,
Like it's very
I think they sold a little bit of kitcheny
everything.
stuff too. Now,
All right, all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But that was Duffy's
That was a
Builders.
huge shop.
Well, if you picture 3 stories, there's 3 stories there, and possibly 4 in the roof, going all the way the width of the building right through to the car park where the cinema is.
Yes, yeah,
That is a
yeah,
massive
yeah.
building. But yeah,
No, the one after that, I worked nearly in every shoe shop in Clanbrassil Street. Not at this stage, though. That
right.
is Connolly's. That was
Okay.
E.J. Connolly's. They had a factory, of course, down
Hmm.
Barrack Street down there. And
Right.
that was a um, very big shop, and it did quality stuff. And you
Yeah.
know the football boots that the footballers wear now,
Yeah.
and they're like plimsolls, they made football boots,
Right.
and they were like hobnail boots, and big hard things, and the slogan was Blackthorn boots, the boot that boots the ball. And then we used to say after, and the man as well.
But Harry, that design is very eye-catching. You know, the black and white
Yeah.
of that. Was
Well,
that?
that was in it, Jason, up until like Connolly's. When I worked there, it was about 10 years ago, maybe more.
Hmm.
But that sign was there. They kept that sign black and
Right.
white. You
Okay.
know.
Okay.
Now I'm not quite sure, Jason, about the next one. You can't get any closer to
Yeah,
the.
yeah, no, I have a better photo, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, I think I have a
Yeah.
better photo of that area. Is a similar photo than what we were looking at, just from a slightly
It
different
were.
angle, and
Yeah.
the picture is a bit clearer.
You
You
can
see
see
that?
Connolly's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see
Oh,
Connolly's
there's all
here.
the names. Give.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
buildings
Francis
just between
Short.
us. And you see this Lucky Ring
Duffy's.
house. You see the Lucky Ring house?
Yeah.
What was lucky about it? Why is it called a Lucky Ring?
I would say that was Francis Short because he sold jewelry and he
Yeah,
probably sold
yeah,
rings.
yeah. But
You see,
maybe, do you know what it is, Harry? Maybe there was a brand of rings called Lucky back
no,
in the
there was
80s. No?
all the. Do you remember? I was going to say my engagement ring, Franny her engagement ring in
Right.
the Lucky House. Not there in Dublin, only the best, of course. But
Okay.
no, yeah, that was what that was, and there's the sign for Duffy's, Clark
Okay.
shoes for
Yeah.
Connolly's. That's a
Okay.
very good view there, Jesse. We didn't see that before.
Yeah, that
You
signs
know.
up pretty good.
No,
Okay.
there
I'm going to
was
move on to the next one to get
yeah. Go down to
better
yeah. Go
shot.
down
There,
yeah.
that's a better shot. Okay.
Yeah. Now, next to that was you're talking about going down to the long walk. This
Mm,
was huge, McCourt's Arcade,
right.
and it was one time was a supermarket, and
Okay.
but during the heyday of the festival, they used to
Yeah.
have a barn at the back of it, a
Yeah.
huge barn, and they used to have dancing and everything
Yeah.
down there. It was enormous, and they turned it into a supermarket again. The local people,
Right.
and we have after there was something a clothes shop called Hips
Right.
around there somewhere. Now that could be
So
gone
a couple of things.
even.
I remember that pub at the back of McCourt's Arcade. I think it was called the Hoedown, and I think Desi Corbett had it for a while.
Yeah, it could be the hoedown. Yeah, I just remember the festival, but yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
But moving to the next one, Jason, I see there we had. Did you see that comment that
Elise.
came in there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Elise said she
and
remembers Duffy's as a toy shop.
yeah, I don't know, but then we would be buying our toys in Cavendish's, so I suppose we couldn't afford to go into the Duffy's. It wasn't the Duffy's were dear now, but
Yeah.
thanks very much for your comment. And now there's for sale sign. Can you see that?
Yeah. So I can Hideout restaurant. So I don't remember that,
I
Harry. Do
can't
you?
remember. No, that was a short shift, I think.
Short
I
shifts,
don't think.
short
Yeah,
stay. Helen's
yeah.
Helen's Hideout. Okay. Next
Now,
to that,
what is the
to
blue? What is the blue? Something Express.
yeah, that's the Isle de France. but it says, I think that it says express takeaway.
I don't think you're right there.
Well, it says express, and
Yeah, but
and that says,
yeah, but
takeaway.
I can't. If I could, it's express something.
Yeah, I no, it
Anyway,
says, I'd say it says takeaway, and that looks as if there's very faint blue writing there, Harry, just where I'm moving the mouse, and
yeah.
that looks to say Isle de France there. It looks like Isle of France. So this is
Okay.
the mid 80s. It must have been the Isle of France in the mid 80s.
It was no. I don't. I think that was well. What do you call the man that owns the Isle of France?
I can't remember.
I
Yeah,
can't think his name now,
yeah.
but I don't think he was. Maybe he was. Anyway,
Well, no,
let's
yeah.
let's move on.
Okay, next shop,
When I
Harry.
know when I'm beaten.
The
Now,
next one here.
what is the name?
It looks like National Irish something. It looks like a National Irish Bank. It's
It could, yeah, it is. There's a K there. Yeah, it could be.
that's
It could
the
be.
end. So it's a national something. I think it's National Irish Bank.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, this
And then
is
you know anything about this green shop?
this is the part of my life actually here. I
Yeah.
spent so many years. And can you take it in full there, Jason?
I'll see if I
Because
have anything on the next photo. Wait a minute. No, I don't. I don't.
no, we'll go back.
Okay.
Just go back to that. Um, yeah, it's Late Shoes actually was there. It was two shops in one. 6162 Clanbrassil Street was
Right.
the men's and ladies and children's. Now, they done that shop up when I was there in 1968. They got this shop, no, sorry, 1969, they got this shop all done up. And it was one of the top shoe shops nearly in the Northeast, and had all the top brands.
Harry,
You
that's
know,
over 50 years ago. That's over 50 years ago.
yeah,
52 years ago.
that was done with. It was done actually with. It was designed with with a man from Cork. I remember it so well, and brilliant windows to dress because I used to love dressing the window, and that's the shot. The window you can see there was the men's, and on the far side there's a laneway, a yard actually. Now Lates lived over that in later years, but
Right.
there was in between the men's and the ladies' shop there was and it was full time. He was there full time for a good few years. Michael Grimes was his name, and Michael was the shoe repairer.
Right.
And you would leave shoes in the shop, and we would leave them down with Michael.
Mm.
Now there's has some late shoe shop became Toy Master in 1991.
91. Yeah.
Tori Everson, thanks very much for that, Tony. Yeah, it's great memories, and they Lates at one time had 3 shops on Clanbrassil Street.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
And how many years did you work there for?
I started in up beside where Donald McCardle was in 1955 as a messenger boy, and I stayed there practically all my working life up until around about 75 when I left to open my empire up in the biggest shop in Ireland beside the town hall. Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep going.
But
We'll keep going. We're not even
yeah,
halfway through the photos.
still great love for
Yeah.
the Lates, and they're all gone now, with the exception now, of course, of the sons and the daughters. Okay.
Next photo. So now,
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde. Now that was a modern boutique. I can't say much about it other than it was women's, but it was there for. I used to know one of the girls that worked there. Actually, I'm nearly sure, but I can't remember. But that's what that was. I was a very good busy one.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde. I remember my mom shopping there, and it was like. It was around for ages, but I don't know when it closed. I don't think it was there in the 90s, but someone.
But there was no men's in it.
No. I remember my mother shopping there. in
Oh,
buying.
sorry, I thought you
Yeah.
it was
No, not me.
okay.
Not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, quickly move on.
Now,
Go on.
Monoelectric, which are owned by I can't think of his first name now, but Morgan's,
Right.
and it was a very, very popular electrical. They did everything nearly
You can see in the
that
window
was
they did absolutely.
electric. Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, do you know what? Just move on. Coffee time.
Mm,
Um, I think we've missed a shop called Belton's, a
right.
hardware shop owned by Owen Belton.
It could have
If
been on the left
anyone,
hand side of here.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it would. I think it was where Monoelectric is.
Right.
If anyone have any idea of where Owen Belton's was, it was like a Pat Holland's shop
Oh,
in Park
hardware
Street.
shop. Right.
One
Right.
one of those, yeah. Now the coffee time and the casino, that was all one shop. That was owned by two brothers called the McGraths.
Right.
And one was, oh God, I used to know their names out by heart. I can't just remember them now. And they had men's and ladies' shoes and really good quality. That's all these shoe shops and made a
Mm,
good living in them, you know. It was
mm.
there for years and years and years. And naturally, when it died and it was sold out. It was
Mm.
broken up and sold
Yeah, but
into other building.
if you look at this, Harry, there are four businesses here. So there was Coffee Time was there, right? You had Young's Restaurant. So that's where they were originally, Young's. Now they obviously moved down to Bridge Street or Church Street later on, but they were upstairs there. There was a unisex hair salon and then Castano Shoes. So there was four businesses
Yeah,
there in the building.
because I know shoes.
Castano.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember that. It was a very small wee shop anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Now this Dublin House was a pub, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
It
was.
was, yeah,
And it
yeah.
was it said Dublin House, so it could still say Dublin House over it. And it was a pub that was open right up until like the year 2000. I have memories of it being open around then, and then it closed for renovation. It never opened again. So
Yeah, I can't remember. I used to know who used to know the
mm,
people who own it, but I don't now. Now, this is a beautiful, beautiful building, of course, which is PJ Carroll's.
mm.
And before they went up the Dublin Road. And it's a beautiful. Can you get it at all, Jason, or is
I,
that
I
all you can?
I think I have another shot. I might be able to get in there, but
Yeah.
I'm glad we have this because anybody who's under the age of 30 won't have seen there was a set of gates here and a big massive wall. Did they used to have sprinklers or something like that, Harry, or
It had a
lights?
fountain.
Fountain it was, yeah.
Yeah, and Jason, and I'm sure, and I hope nobody is going to take umbrage to this, but
Mm,
there was a statue
yeah,
in
there
beside
was.
where the shadow, where the what do you call the
The fountain,
waterfall?
yeah,
Yeah, and in there was a statue, and it was black of a black man,
yeah.
and we always just knew that he was called a black man, and then when they closed and moved, it just disappeared, and no
I
one
don't.
knows where he is.
That statue is still some. I remember having a conversation in DKIT one time, and somebody said, "No, that statue wasn't destroyed. It's somewhere else. It still exists somewhere."
Hmm.
So if anybody
I don't.
knows,
We often wondered. We used to think, why was it black? You know,
I
what
don't
what was
know.
the there must be somebody that would know. I'd
I
love to
don't
know
know. I
the
don't know.
story of
Maybe
that.
somebody put the comments in. But this is the bottom half now, Harry. This is then, and the yellow phone box. So the yellow
Now,
phone box there.
I don't think we're going to get the other side done today.
Yeah,
Let's just do that, and
yeah,
then we can do the other side
yeah. Okay.
some other day. Okay.
All right.
Now, Joey Donnelly's, the green shop there.
Yeah,
You see
yeah.
the wee green?
I
Joey
do.
Donnelly. You know about Joey Donnelly?
It was a fruit shop, was it?
Yeah, but did you
Yeah.
know what he was famous for?
No, I don't know.
He was an international footballer, played for Ireland full team, and he was one of the most graceful footballers ever to
Right.
play for Dundalk, Joey Donnelly, and lived in Pierce Park, and an absolute gentleman. And his sons then, Jimmy, who died not all that long ago, Jimmy ran it after. Brilliant shop, no fancy dancy about it. It was just made of cement,
Right.
but they did an absolute
Roaring
roaring
trade.
business in it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That takes us actually down to the bottom of the left-hand side of Clanbrassil Street. Um, what do you think is we should
Well,
leave it, I think, because
I think, yeah, okay. I have one or two more photos, but I think that's the end of Clanbrassil Street, and I
that
think
finishes there. There's Church
yeah.
Street now is the next. We have something on Church Street
So
some other night.
yeah, so I think that was good crack. So
Yeah, well,
what?
no matter every time we do this, Jason,
Hmm,
we get into all sorts of confubbles about it.
we
And
know
the one
more.
thing that you said a couple of times there, and was remember now, there is not one shop on Clanbrassil Street. Maybe I'm wrong. That stretches from Clanbrassil Street in size down to the
All the
Long
way
Walk,
back. Yeah, all the way back.
and
But
there was loads often there.
at the time,
So,
yeah,
so that was from the 80s, and
yeah,
I
the
enjoy
90s.
that now. Yeah, it brings
Yeah,
back so many memories.
it was
Doesn't it
brilliant.
look lovely from there?
It does, yeah. And as I say, we've about 300 of these photos. This is just a very small subsection of them. We have a website. It's called the gatheringheritage.com website. Myself and Harry have been running it now for about 5 years. And we also have a crowdfunder campaign set up because we're looking for funds to continue this type of a project. And we had got funding previously from the government, but with everything drying up at the moment now, we're running our own crowdfunder. So if you enjoyed what we did this evening and you want to help us keep doing it and to keep collecting stories from County Louth, we have about 60 podcasts, we have about 50 videos, and go to gatheringheritage.com and donate a few quid to us, and we would appreciate it, and we'll keep going. So for this evening,
And
we did.
Jason, just before you go, I think what we should, you mentioned it earlier on, the chap that took these photographs, and
Yeah,
he's a chap called Jerry Duffy from the Avenue Road,
yeah,
and they were taking of a bank holiday Monday way back in the 80s, and he graciously gave them to us.
yeah, he did, and with his blessing, we are sharing them out on a beautiful Saturday evening, and we've just taken a walk down Clanbrassil Street in the mid 80s. I hope it brought back loads of fun memories for people. We only did one side this evening. We may do the other side another evening, and then we'll do Park Street, Church Street, and different parts of town. We've got lots of photos, so help us and visit gatheringheritage.com.
And thanks very much for your comments. All
Yeah.
appreciated.
Okay, so we leave it there, Harry. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
And we end the broadcast. Bye
yeah.
bye.
And everybody keep safe.
Cheerio. Bye bye.